Good morning, everybody. Did you see how I kind of came out through the center? I never realized it did that before. Hello, happy Thursday. Welcome to day 3 of our daily creative challenge. I'm Kathleen. As you know, I'm your host. I'm the captain of this zine ship for the next week and a half. It's good to see you all. We've got Judith in the chat. Sean, hello. Sam, what's going on? Good to see you all. Nice Zoom. Yeah, Noor, I'm not sure why that happened. I'm always surprised by these live streams. The technology, I tell ya. What's up, Robin and Jacqueline? Good to see you. So if you are new to these daily creative challenges, they're a great way to build your Photoshop skills over the course of 2 weeks. 9 challenges. We are here every single morning at 9 a.m. Pacific time to take you through the day's challenge. So as you recall, the challenge for this set, let me bring you on over to the website. The challenge for this set is we are building a zine together. The final product will be an actual paper zine. Here's our little mock-up from the first day. This is just an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper that you can fold, and we have the template for you. So every day's challenge will go on a different page, and at the end of the week, or the 2 weeks, you will have all of your pages and also a nice Behance project. Very cool. Cornell says, I think I'll publish my zine when I'm done. That's the goal. Cornell, I'm so glad to hear that. Very cool jacket, thank you. Would you believe that I have matching pants? You should believe it because I do. D, yes, a zine or a Z-I-N-E, like a magazine, is a little mini self-publicated packet of information. Our zines, or at least my zine, is about this summer and how kind of lonely but interesting and introspective it has been. It's called Solitude, and every page has a different poem on it and a different graphic that we are designing. Yes, exactly, like a mini magazine. Perfect. Cool. So if you want to scroll down here, you can get these starter files for today. Today we're going to be doing some color editing. So we're going to be doing some adjustment layers and using some layer masks to mix grayscale and color together in an interesting way. I know sometimes having one pop of color in an all grayscale image, it can feel a little bit, I don't know, simple, which isn't a bad thing. But today we're going to go for something a little more textural, which is, you know, I love texture. You gotta know. Colleen says, hello from Liverpool. What's up, Colleen? Good to have ya. Like a storyboard for your quarantine lifestyle. Yep, that's a great way of saying what's going on. A very poetic storyboard. Okay, cool. So if you have not joined the Daily Creative Challenge yet, you can do that here at behance.net/challenge/Photoshop, right there. And you can register with this blue button. And then another huge part of these challenges is Discord. So we were chatting on Discord a little bit even this morning, getting some technical difficulties figured out. Thanks you guys for helping me with that. But if you want to join us on Discord and post your work to get feedback, you can do that. We've got Blackberry posting some rosé graphics, very cool. This is Ron's layout so far of Ron's zine. That's awesome. So if you want to join us on Discord, it is bit.ly/psdiscord, capital P, capital S. It's free. You can get it on your phone or the web or as an app on your desktop. Very cool. Cindy says, hello from Malibu. Hello, how's it going over there? I bet it is just lovely. Okay, so remember, to post your work on Discord, you can get feedback, answer questions. Sig and Evildoer are wondering what machinations I have in the back of my mind. I know this layout of this zine has been a little bit confusing. Let me just open it up and show you. This is the starter file for today. But they were noticing that I wasn't going in total chronological order with this zine. So if you have the layout of all of the spreads, this is the cover, the back cover, and the front cover. This is the first spread, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're jumping to this last spread today. And the only reason for these kind of jumping arounds, I don't have some large plan all figured out. It's more that every day I tried to go from a simpler topic to a more complicated one, so it's supposed to kind of build upon itself skill-wise, but I didn't think the graphics looked the best together chronologically. So that's why they're kind of jumbled around. But at the end, we can just plop our work into this layout no matter what day we did it on, and it's gonna look great. Cornell, could you teach us some DTP and how to prepare zine for print? I could talk about that maybe a little bit at the end. This zine specifically is supposed to be pretty simple. All you need is an 8.5 by 11. You don't have to have any different pages or front and back or anything like that, because it's supposed to be beginner friendly, but maybe we can talk about like bleeds and crown marks and stuff like that at the end. Cool. Where can I find the layout of all of the spreads? Beulah, I don't think that it's on any of the starter file days, but I can post it in Discord if you would like it. Would that be helpful for people to have this spread as well? Okay, cool. So let me know in chat, and we are going to jump into today's challenge. So if you want to start with the starter file I'm using, you will get this image as well as a couple other images of this model, like if you wanted to use just a different angle, you know? Most of the world is saying, what is 8.5 by 11? Sean, what is the paper size? Is it A6 or A3? Print paper that you would put through a printer. That's what I mean. Oh, me and my Americanness. That would be helpful. I missed it the first day. No problem. Actually, let me just go ahead and do that before we jump into anything too wild. I'm gonna go into Discord right now. And in the current challenge channel, I'm going to upload that all spreads template. There we go, maybe. All spreads template. That was supposed to be like the starter file for day 0, but I didn't realize that we didn't have a starter file like bucket for day 0, so that's my bad. There we go. I'll pop on over here back to Discord. And there it is. So if you come to Discord, you can get this beautiful download file where you can put all of your work as you go along, like I've been doing so far. Alrighty, so today's challenge. Had to get up and check my print paper, A4. Okay, cool, A4 paper. So like I mentioned, we're just gonna be doing some color edits and then mashing our 2 edits together with a layer mask. It's super duper simple, and I will just walk you through it real quick. So over here in our layers panel, I'm just gonna increase the size of this a little bit. If you didn't know you can do this, you can totally customize this however you want. You can make your layers panel a little bit bigger. We're gonna be using our properties panel, so I don't wanna make it too small. And then if you totally like mess up your panels or where your layers are, you can come up here and you can reset your workspace. I just use Essentials. If I have a specific project that I need to change things around in, I'll just do it manually. I don't really use photography or painting or motion, but if you did, you'd get panels that are specific to that workflow. We'll go back to Essentials though, and you can always reset it if you need to start over. Okay. So we have our portrait right here, just turning the layer on and off to show you. That's what we're gonna be working on. And the first thing I want to do is I want to just tweak the colors of this a little bit, because her whole outfit, it's very colorful, which I love, and it's kind of like, it's similar to the color palette for my zine. If we jump back over to my all spreads, we've got like more of an orange and cyan thing going on, and this is more of like a red and cornflower palette. So let's just tweak this a little bit closer to what I need. Super easy way to do this. There's actually a bunch of ways we could do this, but it's all gonna be in our adjustment layers. We talked about adjustment layers a little bit yesterday, doing gradients, but let's just go over here to our hue and saturation. I think this is the first adjustment layer that I ever used in Photoshop, just to make those like crazy wild color shifts. Judith, is this just the page 5 layout? Yep, I'm just working on page 5 today. But again, y'all can lay out your zines however you want, and that's also why we went over how to make these mock-ups the first day, so that you could kind of like draw out layouts and try different things out and then translate it into Photoshop. What's up, Valder? Good to see you. Thanks for everything you do, friend. All right, so when I start this hue and saturation, layer, when I open it, you'll notice up here in the properties, we get a couple different options. We can change the hue. Let me just like throw this slider and see what it does. Whoa, this is very zine-esque, like classic zine. But we just want to push it a little more towards orange. Her skin tone's going to start looking a little yellowy, but it's not really a problem. We're not going for realism here. If I go to the left, things will get more red or magenta. We just want to go a little more towards orange. And we're also going to just drop the saturation down a little bit so that that orange skin tone isn't as obvious, or yellow skin tone, I should say. All right. So we have our hue and saturation little tweak done. We could even change the lightness a little bit if we wanted to increase it or decrease it. I don't usually change that unless I'm trying to go for like a film effect. Okay, we can turn our layer on and off to see the difference. I think now it's a little more along the lines of what I'm looking for. There we go. Okay, so now let's do our black and white edit. Down here in our adjustment layers, you can find black and white super easily. It's right there. And that's just going to change our properties panel to the black and white workspace. So there are presets we could use. We could try a green filter. That's actually pretty nice. Kind of evens things out a little bit. I'm going for like a really kind of high contrast look. And I found that this maximum white is pretty close to what I want because it's high contrast, but the darks are still like charcoal. They're not black, which I like. Voila, love it. Okay, so now we want to mesh these two together. Actually, before I do that, let's just go through quickly how we can make more finessed tweaks, if that helps. We can increase or decrease the reds. Remember where her jacket was a little more reddish orange? That's why you're seeing those big changes happening only in the jacket and in the ground where that gradient, that red gradient was. I can even turn it off and show you. So it's really only going to affect the areas that have those red hues. We could darken it up a little bit. Or we could just go straight back to 100. All right. Remember how her skin tone was turning a little bit yellow? This is going to affect her skin and a little bit of her jacket since it was kind of orange-esque. Cool. So you can make any kind of tweaks that you want, but first I just want to make my mashup, my monster mash. It's going to be great. So I think we noticed layer masks yesterday when we made our gradient fill layer. Remember when we did this right at the beginning of the stream yesterday? You might have noticed that when you make one of these adjustment layers or fill layers, there's this little white square next to the thumbnail, and that is a mask that is waiting to be masked. I'll explain in a moment. So check this out. I'll delete this first. Every adjustment layer is going to have one of these layer masks, so the black and white has one, and I can click on the layer mask to highlight it or focus on it so that we make sure that we are working on the mask right now. Basically, all a mask does is it reveals that layer or conceals it. So right now it is completely revealed. Everything is black and white, nothing is masked away. All we want to do is use a brush. So come over here to your brush tool. If you have your layer mask focused, if it's clicked on, you'll notice that your colors are either black or white over here automatically. You can switch them easily by doing this or tapping X on your keyboard. You see a little hot tooltip up here. If you hover over it, it'll tell you to tap X. But let's use black to conceal our black and white layer. So I'm setting my brush to black and I'm just going to paint, and check it out. It's revealing the layer underneath it. We've got some nice texture, looking good. Then when I release over here in my layers, you'll see where your mask is. So that's where we are painting with black. This is helpful so you know like what layers even have masks on them. And if we swap our foreground color back to white, I can bring the black and white back in. So this is a really perfect non-destructive workflow. So you're not actually erasing anything permanently. I can just swap back to black and paint this blue back in. You can get things really nice and finessed. And you might be wondering, hey, that's a pretty cool brush. Where'd you get it? This is one of the painterly brushes within Photoshop. And I like to make a point of showing you all, like if you are in your brush tool, come up here to your options, and you can pick a brush from all of your different options. Now Photoshop comes loaded with a ton of brushes, specifically some of these painterly or mixer brushes and more recent updates. But if you want to find more brushes and you have a CC subscription, you can come up here to the cog, click it, and click Get More Brushes. It's going to take you to a browser, and then it's going to let you download tons of brush packs from our very own Kyle T. Webster, an amazing brush magician. So I like the mega pack because it just has everything you could need and more, including the kitchen sink. And then every season, or most seasons, if you scroll down to the bottom, you'll see that there's like an update. So there's some specific brushes, like a curated collection released for the season. All you do is click download. That's going to download a brush file for you. And then once you download that, you can just drag that file onto Photoshop and it loads them automatically. Love Kyle's self-portrait. Isn't it iconic? I agree, Sean. And Jason says, I love magicians. I don't trust them. I respect them, but I don't trust them. Oh no, Photoshop deleted all your brushes again. Sig, I'm sorry. It's a bummer. Did you reset your preferences or something? That's no good. All right, so again, I'm using one of these painterly brushes. Let's see where it was. I think I closed it. Got so many brushes, it's hard to find. But you can open these wet media brushes, and that's going to give you a pretty good option as well. Okay, so let's finesse this a little bit more. I think finesse is my word of the day. Sorry about that. Just kind of stuck in my mind. You know when you just get a word or like a phrase stuck in your mind? Kind of like a song. Cool. And this could be kind of symbolic. Like this summer has been very interesting. It's been a little bit lonely. It's been colorful and black and white kind of at the same time. And then to finish my work, I just added this little like house graphic around my character or my model. And the way that I did that, it was super easy. We used the shape tool, the rectangle tool that I showed yesterday to make those gradients. I just made a single shape, filled it with a color that was similar to my palette, used the move tool, and just kind of placed it where I wanted it. And I actually used the same shape for all of these. So you can either do Command or Control J to duplicate your layer. Check it out over here in the layers panel. I'll do that again. Command J duplicates it. Then you can drag it over, rotate it. And then since it is a smart shape or a live shape, you can change the color on the fly. Super duper easy. Alrighty, so now for the moment of truth. What poem did I make for today? Well, let's see. Here we go. Everybody start clapping, hitting the bongos. Subdued aurora, an outer, open wall pierce. At the perfect mind. Let's all think about that for a moment. Snaps. Snaps for my haiku of the day. Again, I will let you know that I was using a haiku generator just to make sure that I had something cool and snappy and quick to use for you all. So feel free to use those. Feel free to write them off the top of your head. The syllable count is 5 syllables first line, 7 syllables next line, and 5 syllables on the bottom line. I know, deep thoughts, deep thoughts. And if I turn my spread back on, you'll see that day 6 will be on the right side of this spread. So if we come to our all spreads, I'll zoom out. Again, I posted this all spreads template in Discord. Not a clue, Kathleen. Oh, Sean. You'll notice that I popped my design in here already, and we are filling out our layout. It's looking good so far, right? We had day 1 with our cover, Day 2 with the gradients. This one was cool. The beanstalk coming out of the window. It's like magical realism. Jay is confused. Robin says, I'm going to catch up on all the challenges today. At least that's the plan. Cool, Robin. You don't have too much to catch up on, so it should be good. Robin, do I know your theme for your zine? What did you pick? So I've started going for this kind of typewriter-y style for the haiku, changing the color of the text every time to just match with my color palette. So we've got blue over here, filling out our layout. That's poetic. I agree, Sean. I'm a poet, and I did know it. And then I've been doing this kind of drop shadow that's more of a pop of color. So we've got the blue and the orange there. We did the reverse for this one. And yes, it is upside down because remember, we're going to be printing this out at the end, folding it so that it goes in order. Oh, Robin, your theme is morning walk. I like that. That's awesome. Love the typeface. Thanks, Cornell. If you download the day 1 starter file, you should get the same typefaces I was using. So I believe the typewriter-y ones are the typeface family called Chandler. There's a couple different weights to it. Let's go to our type tool. Let's bring in some Chandler. Yep, there it is. So I have the light oblique, so that's like a really thin and slightly italicized version. We just got the light version, so same thing, but straight up and down, and then the noir oblique, so thicker and off to the side. Then we also have, I believe this typeface is called Thunderhead. I really like this one. Whoa, that was the wrong layer. We're going to do another one. There we go. Yep, Thunderhouse Pro. If we change it to black, you can see it just has some great texture. Love it. I love when typefaces have texture built in because I would probably automatically put them in anyways. What type is Solitude? Thunderhouse Pro. You can get these all in Adobe fonts. Very nice. So let's put our work from today up on Discord. I'm just going to do a quick little crop of it. I'm not going to save it. I'm just going to do a crop, do a quick export so I can get all of your feedback. To do a really quick little export, you can do file export and then quick export as PNG, but you don't have a ton of control over like the size. So I'm just going to do a quick export as. And actually export as was giving me kind of a problem yesterday. Oh, it's working. Maybe. Perhaps. Sometimes Photoshop has problems. Just gotta stay patient with it. Like you would a friend. All right, let's go width 500, height 652. That's fine. Just for a work in progress. Export it. Put it in. Why did it go to June? That was weird. Day 3, work in progress, JPEG, sounds good. Jennifer says I have more fonts than shoes, and that is scary. Jennifer, I can relate. All right, let's go back to Discord. Thank you, Valder, for pinning that. And then we'll go to day 3. Work in progress, black and white color combo. Cool. I don't really have a specific request for feedback on this one, but if you see something that I can make stronger, let me know. Export for web gives you the smallest JPEG from Photoshop, 72 DPI, so good for web. Perfect. I like that. Okay, cool. So that's it for today for me. Tomorrow I will be back with more, but right after me for Adobe Live, we have more streams coming up. If you were around yesterday, you got a taste of the schedule. So we've got photo retouching coming up right after me. Then Claudie and Howard are both doing daily creative challenges for XD and Illustrator, which is awesome. We've got packaging design with Nick, and then a final design off with Val and Made by Lisa Marie. It's going to be a full day. That design off yesterday was really fun. Good vibes. try to join again today. And like I said, I'll be back tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Pacific time for day 4. What could we be doing? Something zine-tastic, definitely. And I will see you all then. So bye Colleen, bye Robin, bye Carol. It's good to see you all. I'll see you later. Ciao.